Everyone, I hope you all are doing well. In this video, let's understand the concept of continuous compounding. Along with explaining the concept of continuous compounding, I will also take up two practical problems to show you how to solve the problems related to this topic. So, to understand the concept of continuous compounding, we first need to understand the concept of simple compounding. Compounding is nothing but the process of finding out the future value of any present sum or the principal amount after certain number of years. So, to find out the future value of any present sum, we use the formula which is S, that is the amount or the future value, is equals to the present value or the principal amount into 1 plus I raised to the power n. Or we can also write this formula, that is S is equals to P into 1 plus R upon M raised to the power m into t. Let me explain what is m, what is t, what is n, and what is I here. So, to explain this, let me take one example. For example, if we are interested to find out the future value of rupees 100 after 2 years, when the rate of interest is 6% compounded semi annually, in that case, the value of r is 6%. The value of t is 2 years, which is the time in years, while m is the frequency of compounding or the number of compoundings in a year. As in this example, there is semi-annual compounding, so the number of compoundings in a year will be equals to 2. And the value of I that we calculate is with the help of this, that is r upon how many compoundings will be there. So I is the rate of interest per compounding period, while n, which is calculated by multiplying m with the number of years, we get the value of n, and that gives us the total number of compounding periods. And p and s is nothing but the future value and the present value. Now we know that in case of semi-annual compounding, annual compounding, quarterly compounding, and monthly compounding, the frequency of compounding is equals to in case of annual compounding, the value of m, or we call it as frequency of compounding or the number of compoundings, will be equals to 1. In this case, it will be equals to 2. In the next one, quarterly compounding means every 3 months the interest will become the part of the principal, so it is 4. And in case of monthly compounding, the value of m is 12. Now, what is the concept of continuous compounding? In case of continuous compounding, compounding is so frequent that we are unable to find out the value of m. That is, in case of continuous compounding, the value of m is considered to be tending towards infinity. Then we call this case as continuous compounding. It means the compounding is so frequent that we will not be able to find out the value of m. Even if the compounding is on hourly basis, we cannot call it as continuous compounding, because in that situation also we will be able to find out the value of m. So it is so frequent that m is tending towards infinity in case of continuous compounding. Now, how to find out the formula? For this, we have to use the same formula, but in case of continuous compounding, m will tends towards infinity. So let's see, I am applying the limit m tends to infinity in the formula. Okay, now in this case, I can take p common and I'll be left with this part, and along with this I will also introduce one more thing, which is r into t, and I'm introducing r upon r. Sorry, this is m. So after introducing r upon r, we can write in the next step this information like this: limit m tends to infinity 1 plus r upon m. This m and r can be combined, that is m upon r, in such a manner so that we get inverse or the same term which we have in the inner part of this bracket, and the other two terms, that is r into t, can be taken or can be written here. After this, we know that this is r upon m and outside we have m upon r. If we let that r upon m is equals to x, then if m is tending towards infinity, then we know that x will tends towards 0. So let me put the value of x in this equation. If we put the value in this equation, the value will be equals to p. Now the function will be written in terms of x because we will put the value. So limit x tends to 0, this part will become 1 plus x, because we know that r upon m is equals to x, and if r upon m is equals to x, then it is equals to 1 upon x raised to the power rt. You must be remembering one formula, that is when we have this limit x tends to 0, 1 plus x raised to the power 1 upon x. Can you tell me it is equals to what? It is equals to e. So using this formula, we can write this part as e, and here in the power we will be having rt. So our formula in case of continuous compounding is equals to s is equals to p into e raised to the power rt. So this is the formula that we have to use in case of continuous compounding, and continuous compounding concept says that the compounding is so frequent that the value of m is tending towards infinity. So using that concept, we got this formula. Now let me take practical problems to show you how to solve the problems related to this topic. So for this, I have taken first problem, and this is the problem: if rupees 1000 is invested at an annual rate of 9% compounded continuously, find the amount at the end of 6 years. So here we have to find out the future value of rupees 1000 after 6 years when the rate of interest is 9% compounded continuously. So using the formula that we have derived, we have to find out s when my principal amount is rupees, or the present value is rupees 1000. E raised to the power, here r is 9%, so e raised to the power 0.09, and after 6 years we have to find out the value. So t is 6. So the value or the power of e is equals to 0.54. Now how to get the value of e raised to the power 0.54? For this we have tables available, and let me show you the table how it looks like. So this is the table of e raised to the power positive x and e raised to the power negative x. So we are given the values of x here, that is the values which are there in the power, and depending upon whether power is negative or positive, we can see the value and we can directly write the value. So I am using this table to find out the value of e raised to the power 0.54. So I'll see here and I'll write the value. So the value of e raised to the power 0.54 is equals to 1.7160, and multiplying these two I am getting 1716. So this is the amount that we'll be having after 6 years when the rate of interest is 9% compounded continuously. Now let me take the second problem. So the second question is, a fund is being set up by a single payment so that at the end of 20 years there will be rupees 50,000 in the fund. If interest is compounded continuously at an annual rate of 5%, how much money should be paid into the fund initially? So in this question we are given the future value after 20 years, which is 50,000. When the rate of interest is 5% compounded continuously, we need to find out the present sum, or how much money should be deposited in the fund initially. So to find out the present value, we have again the same formula, which is S is equals to P into e raised to the power RT. But now in this case, in place of finding out S, we need to find out P. So to find out the present value, the formula will be equals to P is equals to S e raised to the power minus RT. So now putting the information from the question, let's see what will be the value of P. So S, or the future value, is rupees 50,000. E raised to the power R is 5%, so minus 0.05, and the value of T is 20. If we multiply these two, I am getting e raised to the power minus 1. Now using the same table, I'll write the value of e raised to the power minus 1, and the value is 0.36788. This is the value of e raised to the power minus 1. Multiplying this with rupees 50,000, we'll get the present value. So if I multiply these two, I am getting rupees 7357.6. So this is the present value of rupees 50,000 after, which was after 20 years. So when the rate of interest is 5% compounded continuously, so at present you have to deposit rupees 7357.6 in the fund, so that after 20 years you get rupees 50,000 when the rate of interest is 5% compounded continuously. So this is how we can solve the problems of continuous compounding, and this was all about the continuous compounding. Thank you so much for watching.